Welcome back to another edition of Coach's Corner, brought to you by My Game Day Collections and mygamedaycollections.com. Their styles are comfortable and an alternative to women's and men's basic tees and hoodies. They offer royalties on all gross sales up to 8% to the schools that sign up for them with them, and offer up to a 50% standard discount or 50% discount on all standard shipping. The first return is free. The customer service is local and a local company, so that's mygamedaycollections.com. On this edition, I am pleased to be joined by Omaha North head boys basketball coach Thomas Liechti. I guess I should say boys basketball coach and assistant football coach Thomas Liechti, because I'm guessing we're going to talk some North football. Thomas, how are we doing today?
Doing pretty good, man. I can't complain too much. Just want to say thank you for having me on here today.
No problem. So let's start with the basketball piece, right? And OPS was a little bit behind as far as everybody else in getting things approved to get in gyms or actually, with basketballs and stuff like that. How has that gone so far with your team? Have you been able to get some stuff done?
Yeah, no, obviously we were far behind a little bit, but, that's understandable. Obviously, everybody's health and safety is the number one concern. But, yeah, we've been in the gym now for about 3 weeks. It's been good. Our attendance has been great. We're following all the protocols, social distancing, masks when we need them, sanitizing all the basketballs in between groups, hand sanitizer for all the kids as soon as they get done. But it's gone really well. We're just thankful for any time that we got. It was looking kind of bleak there for a while. We might not get anything done, but the last 3 weeks have been really good. Our kids have really responded, and, they're just handling it. They're kids, they're going to do, whatever they're expected to do. So I've been pleased with our kids. They're doing what we ask them to do.
What is, I guess, a couple of those kids, Keyshawn, I think, is going to be a big piece, and Curtis Ogbo was a big piece with you guys last year, got a lot of minutes, and obviously going to have a large role going forward. But the one guy you lost was Walt Scholl, and he was obviously the catalyst for you guys. Clearly, I guess, your best player last year. He's off to Butler Community College in Kansas. How do you even go about replacing him? Or I guess, how do you feel like those numbers, right?
Yeah, I was going to say that there is no replacing a player like that. And the crazy thing about him is he's just, kind of scratching the surface of how good he's going to be. I mean, I haven't heard the last of that name here in a couple of years out of Butler. Very talented player, but it's going to be tough. Obviously you mentioned Keyshawn and Curtis coming back. We beat the number 1 and number 2 team in the state last year when Curtis was healthy. We lost Curtis for 11 straight games, really derailed our season for a little bit, but we responded, won 4 games in a row to get to districts. But, Mason Strong is going to be a junior. He's a very good shooter, very good player. He's been very impressive this summer. I am so pleased with how far he's come. We've got a couple of guys that are going to be sophomores that have looked great. Elijah McCullough and Tiandre Perkins are both guys that I expect to be very much in the mix for us right away. We started a freshman last year, 2 straight games late in the season. We won both those games. A kid by the name of Travion Brown. Just a great role player, just absolutely dominates his role. Just one of those guys you have to have if you're going to try to win. Tajon Wilson, going to be a junior, a kid that we lost for 14 games last year. He started a couple games for us early in the season. But, we've got some good young pieces coming back. Obviously, Keyshawn and Curtis are going to be our 2 main guys. But Mason's got a lot of potential. Trey Brown, we've got a really good freshman coming in. Tajon Wilson, Daryl Bennett's a sharpshooter. We like our guys, and they keep showing up. So we're just hoping that everything goes well and we can get into the season. And like I said, there's no replacing Walt Scholl, but we're just going to do the best we can.
Is it? I guess your staff's great, right? I think you put together a really good staff, especially for being a young head coach. You have experience on the sideline to kind of help you out. Was that by design?
Oh, absolutely. John Nichols, 40 years at Benson. The year before I got the job, he wasn't coaching anymore, and I had never, I just knew who he was forever because he's always been around.
Which, by the way, is crazy. So anyway,
yeah, it's crazy, and I don't know how he wasn't coaching. So I thought he quit. I thought he just retired. I reached out to Curtis Weber, who used to be the head coach at Benson, and he coached for him. And I said, hey, I don't know John Nichols, but as a young coach, I want in that front seat on my bench, I want a veteran, to kind of keep me from losing it a little bit. And he's been absolutely great. and guys like Kyle Brandt is a phenomenal coach. I mean, absolutely love having Kyle on our staff. And Justin Fickle is a guy that works his tail off for our program. And it's just, we have a great staff. And the thing is, we're not just colleagues, we're all really good friends.
Okay, so let's move to football a little bit, right? So not very many people, I think there are people that kind of have the assumption that North is not going to be great this year at football, right?
We'll let them, that's okay. We'll let them think that. That's good. That's good.
I don't necessarily have that assumption. And frankly, after watching some 7-on-7 against Burke, I'm like, yeah, they're going to be a lot better than I thought. And even, I think outside observers think. Why is that? Is it just the culture? Is it you're returning, basically every lineman, and you have Sam Scott and Keyshawn, and you have two quarterbacks that seem to be able to get the job done? Is that – don't speak for Coach Martin here, but, let's just touch on football a little bit.
I could never speak for Coach Martin, and I don't want to put the cart before the horse on, saying that, how we're going to be. But I think just, when you win as much as we've won in the past, expectations sometimes become – it kind of creates a monster. And, these last 2 years, we've been competitive, obviously. We've played really tough schedules. We've lost some tough games to some really good teams. We've got a lot of guys back. I think we've got we've got 15 starters back or so. And I think we're going to be just fine. I'm really looking forward to it. I think we're going to be really good on both sides of the ball. We bring pretty much our entire offense back. We got a lot of work to do. Obviously, just like anybody, we should always be trying to improve, but I'm excited. I think our football team is looking good right now, but, we still got a lot of work to do.
Okay, last one, and this is a question I ask everybody, is not the most talented player you've ever coached, but favorite player you've ever coached. And if you want to name more than one like every other coach does because they're scared to answer the actual question with one name, you can. But so favorite player you've ever coached, not the most talented player you've ever coached.
That's virtually impossible, but I'll try to get that one down in here as quickly as I can. I'm going to touch on 4 names.
Okay.
Just real briefly. They're all 4 very talented, but they're all different. 2 of them are very similar. One's a current North guy, and one's a starting point guard at UNO, University of Omaha. Ayo Akinwale. I compare him to Travion Brown, who is a freshman, going to be a sophomore for us at North. Like I said, he's absolutely – the thing about those 2 guys are they show up every single day. They make absolutely no excuses for anything that they do, and they are the 2 of the most coachable kids I've ever seen in 10 years of being around and doing this type of stuff, just constantly working, constantly getting better. If I told Trey Brown or Ayo Akinwale, if we're practicing in the gym at North, when Omaha Elite practice or Omaha North practice, if I said, hey, I want you to run outside the gym, run down to 30th and Ames, slap the street sign and run back, it'll make you a better player, they'd both go do it. The other 2 are Tyrell Carroll and Zion Williams, both guys that were very, I don't want to say underappreciated or underrated, but
they were.
Yeah. And they've both, look where they're at now. Just relentless. Those 2 guys just took that as motivation, and they've just done nothing but work their butts off. And, I still talk to those guys pretty much every day, and I couldn't be more proud of those 2.
All right. Thank you very much for your time today. I appreciate it. And we got the technical difficulties figured out. So
I told you I'm not too great with technology, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. See ya.